I don't know. The news is just like depressing these days.
Depressing? Why? How so?
Well, I mean, I guess it just gives you perspective on life in other countries, but also in our own, and just the way that we've been sort of ravaged by things. And you can read these stats online. I mean, it's written right there. I mean, 4 million people die in this country every year. No, every year. I'm saying every. No, don't clap. I'm saying every year, 4 million people lose their lives. Do you know that we beat every country?
We beat
per
them.
capita?
Yes.
No, that's not in a no. You shouldn't be proud. No, not beat like in a competition. We don't want to win.
USA.
We do.
USA.
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 USA. USA.
I'm ready. Is it rolling?
Yeah, it's rolling.
What zodiac are we in?
Are we in currently?
Yeah.
Like, is that the same as Chinese New Year, or that's different, isn't it?
We're maybe. There's like Tiger.
Yeah, we're in the year of the tiger right now.
What was before the year of the tiger? What was last year?
I don't remember. And I only know
the
that
rat?
maybe might have been year of the rat. I don't see why not. I honestly don't keep up with it.
The year of Gyllenhaal? He was in that. Zodiac?
Yeah. I thought you were calling Gyllenhaal a rat.
Yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal, that rat.
Are you like a Taylor Swift fan? Like everyone hates Jake Gyllenhaal now.
What? No. One time I met Jake Gyllenhaal,
Mm-hmm.
and he punched me in the face, and he took my lunch money and stole my sneakers.
So he's a rat because of that.
Yeah, he's a piece of garbage.
That's understandable.
Yeah.
At least. Well, hey, welcome to That Was Mint. It's been a mint.
Minted.
Just came up with that right now.
All right, I think I actually have to head out.
Oh, okay. All right. No, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. This is a preview of the content to come this year. We're actually not going to upload at all. This is the only video this year.
This is frosty.
Well, it's probably because you refrigerated it properly.
I did.
And that's
I froze it a bit.
Oh, okay. Well, that would add to it.
Good stuff though. Good stuff.
Well, hey, we've just been real busy these past few months.
Yeah, busy making dreams come true.
Mm-hmm. Crushing some dreams.
Few.
In a couple circumstances. But yeah, I mean, we were both working a lot for a couple months.
Yeah. Busy
and
around
then
the holidays.
And then, just holiday stuff and traveling. Like, I was going on a trip. I had to have a negative test. So I was kind of like, I was like, I probably shouldn't.
Trying to stay out of the spotlight a bit.
Yeah, I was like doing stuff I had to do. And as much as I love the podcast, as much as I'm dying every waking moment, that's not sarcastic. I just sound sarcastic. But anyway, now we're both available. What have you been up to in the hiatus? Last time people saw you, you were in a wizard costume. So like, what have you been up to?
Shoot, was that the last time we were here? Was that?
I think so.
Halloween?
I think it was our Halloween episode.
Okay. Well, I've been writing my book a lot. I wrote between that period. I wrote 100 pages.
100 pages.
Yeah, I've just been like nose to the grindstone, just trying to get that done because it's been years.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah,
that's a good feeling to get a site, like to start to want to do something and then actually start to do it.
Yeah, and I'm about to go back to school, so I'm like, that's my goal. I'm like, I gotta finish this before I go back to school.
Right. To Citrus or
Cal Poly Pomona, baby.
Oh,
yeah. Go Broncos.
Go Broncos. They're the Broncos.
What?
I didn't know that.
We're the Broncos, baby.
I had no idea. That's cool.
Peyton comes by every once in a while.
Yeah. I guess he is one of the more famous Broncos.
Yeah.
Even though he wasn't even a Bronco for that long. He was mostly a Colt.
Oh, wow.
He was a Colt for the longest.
Peyton Manning lore, huh?
Yeah. Peyton Manning lore. That's absurd. Yeah, well, that's good. What else? You've been doing any traveling, any sightseeing?
Lots of traveling. with the boys, the lady friend, things of that nature.
Yeah.
Went to the beach
Okay.
a few times actually.
Oh, okay.
Went to what's that one we went with church to camp?
We went to a few beaches.
It's pretty close. It was for that dingy junior high leader camp where it was sucked. And we stayed in a hotel.
No. I wasn't at that one.
Oh, you weren't at that one?
You mean the one where we were high school seniors and we had to leave? I didn't go to that. You know why? I had an AP test that weekend. And I thought it would be mostly my parents were like, you probably shouldn't go on a trip if you have to study for a big test. And I was like,
yeah, I
that's
guess.
fair.
Yeah, good idea.
But I remember hearing that you had to stay in a
Yeah.
hotel or something.
What was that city called? It wasn't Carlsbad. It was above Carlsbad.
Carlsgood.
I went to Carlsbad.
Okay.
That was fun.
Carlsbad. What's in Carlsbad?
It's like it's next to Oceanside.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like some real less trafficked beaches. It's like the suburbs of San Diego. So imagine like here, but in San Diego. It's like the Pandora of San Diego. That's a nice
sounding spot. Although isn't San Diego not like San Diego's kind of nice, right?
That's what I've heard. I haven't been in ages.
My parents were just there
this
past summer.
Did they say it was nice?
Yeah, they were. I mean, they were in a nice area.
Yeah,
they were right by Petco Park, which is where the Padres play.
Oh, the boys.
There's a hotel that's like connected to the stadium. It's crazy. There's a hotel, and like if you're a guest at the hotel and you have tickets, I assume. We're doing ASMR.
I'm sorry.
That'll sound great.
Anyway.
There's a hotel that connects to the stadium. So you can literally like take an elevator, walk across a hallway, and like hand in a ticket, and you get to just go into the baseball stadium.
Dang, that's dope.
So they're like, the San Diego is great, and it's a pretty city, but as with most big cities, I'm sure it's not all fun and games.
Remember we saw that crazy hotel on the way to Utah? It was like it had like that connect. It went like over the freeway.
Oh yeah.
And it had that crazy like contraption. It was like a roller coaster inside of it and junk.
Mm-hmm.
That's nuts.
Yeah, there's some wackadoo hotels out there. All worth your money.
For sure.
What was that? What are you looking at? What's happening?
You got you away from the mic.
Oh, you're like Tay-Zondaing it. You're like, I move away from the mic to chew type of thing.
Yeah, total Tay-Zonday move.
What's Tay-Zonday up to?
I don't know.
Moving away from the mic to breathe, I assume.
Chocolate rain.
Chocolate rain. I like that video. That video got popular for no other reason than his voice is funny. Like, they were just like, oh, this is kind of catchy. And his voice is super deep.
Chocolate rain.
And he's like a skinny black guy. He's like a Urkel looking guy.
Tay-Zonday was in old YouTube. He would do collabs and like.
Oh yeah,
he has his own little thing going on.
He would be in Red and Link videos and stuff like that. Love Tay-Zonday. Well, personally, I've been I've recently actually been traveling a pretty decent amount.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I went on a trip. We did a trip when we were high schoolers, up to like the Kings Canyon area, to Hume Lake. It's a really nice lake, but it's like privately owned, so you can go see it, but there's like amenities and stuff for the camp. So
I've heard of this place. What's the vibe?
What's the vibe? The vibe is a bunch of high schoolers just like running around, like having freedom for a weekend.
Now we should clarify. Justin doesn't just hang out with high schoolers. On his free time.
I volunteer to help with a group of high schoolers at our church. Because
he does, but in an appropriate context.
Yes, and I am doing it because I want to invest in their lives.
Yeah, pour back in the community.
And it's
be a mentor.
Like we were in this group, and I was like, I helped with junior hires for a while because that's kind of the not entry level. Not to suggest it's lesser, but I did that for a few years, and now I get to help with high schoolers, which is more fun because they're more receptive to things. So I am not hanging out at a lake with a bunch of high schoolers for no reason.
And they have better trips.
Yeah, and I
high school trips were high school camp was always better.
Oh, they're so awesome.
So dope.
I hope we go to Tahoe this year. I haven't asked Ryan yet, but I'm really hoping that we go back to Tahoe.
Yeah, we do houseboats trips.
Oh yeah, we don't do those.
Climbing.
We don't do houseboats anymore though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because the guys that own the houseboats, we don't really know anymore. It's like I think it's Brandon's relatives or something.
Oh, I see.
So I don't think we have access to those anymore. But
the relationship is too tenuous now.
A bit of that, but also like I think I don't know. I don't know the details.
Tahoe's better. Tahoe's cool. Tahoe's probably better.
I like Tahoe. I liked it when we went when it was our senior year. But anyway, and that at Hume, I was hanging out with people my age anyway. Like I'm not like just high schoolers. Like people my age are also leaders there. But I did that, and it's funny to watch high schoolers not have cell service. That's pretty funny.
Is there no cell service up there?
You can get cell service if you're a leader. So I had cell service. I didn't tell some people that because I wanted to pretend like I didn't have internet or cell service, so I just wouldn't respond to a couple things.
Classic.
Which I mean, I think that's forgivable.
I do that all the time when I'm on vacation.
Absolutely.
It's all about boundaries, man.
Yeah, I mean, if you're truly gonna take a vacation or a trip somewhere, I think you should feel free to be like, oh, I don't have to respond to this.
Oh yeah, no.
So there's some exceptions, like, okay, this is kind of serious, or but if someone's just like, hey, could you fill out this file whenever you have a chance? I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. So I did that, and then just recently I was at the happiest place on earth for a few days. Carlsbad, California.
No, oh yeah. No, wait, what?
That wasn't at Carlsbad. That was at Disneyland.
Oh yeah, you stayed in the hotel, didn't you?
Yeah, I stayed at the Grand Californian, which is it's a nice hotel.
Is it? Yeah. How is it?
It's very nice. It's like right in the park.
Oh, like what?
Like you can go downstairs, and if you have like tickets to go in, you can like just go downstairs, walk for a second, go through a hallway like and through security, and you're in California Adventure. Like it's nutty.
That's sick.
The view from my room, you can see like right down, and there's people walking in the park and stuff, which is great. Like for your money, and you're paying a lot of money for that room.
Oh yeah.
We got a big discount just because I know I have family that works there.
People, right?
Yeah. So if you don't have that discount and you don't have access to the park, I would say it's probably not worth it. Only because it's so much money. Like it's, and my mom works there, so I can say that, and she will agree.
I've heard it's a lot for.
It's a ton of money.
Hotels there.
Granted, you're getting a lot, especially with that hotel, because you're just right in the middle of it. And I am someone that likes to bag on Disney a fair amount. I like to, do a little bit of goofing in their film world.
Did they send their assassins to your room? And like,
No, they didn't send anybody. But I like to goof on like Disney adults a little bit, that type of meme. But it's fun. I can't deny that it's a fun place, and being right in the environment is a lot of fun too. So
yeah, it's definitely a fun place.
I'd say if you ever get the chance to stay, really any other hotels are nice, but if you get the chance to stay for a few days, it's a pretty good time. I'd recommend. You're pretty tired. I was exhausted. Yes.
From the park?
Well, just like there's so much walking, and it's just like, well, not just walking, just like all.
Yeah.
If you go, you're probably gonna spend a lot of time out in the park and up and about. You want to get the most out of it, so it's just a lot of brain energy and physical energy to spend.
Disneyland, yeah, and the walking kills.
The walking kills. Ay. Some random girl high-fived me. Just walking around. I was walking with Owen, my brother Owen.
Yeah.
This is Justin Lore here.
Justin Lore?
Yeah.
Your brother Owen?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I was walking around and some random girl like was walking right past me with her hand up. And I was like, "Oh, I guess this is a high five." I high-fived her. So, we're doing great. The kids are at home. And
you should marry this woman.
That night, I stopped her right in her tracks.
That's what I'm talking about. Wife her down, man.
Wife her down. You high five in a Disneyland, and you're never quite the
Next
same.
thing you know, she's your wife.
Yeah, give me one of those worms.
Oh yeah. Oh, this is the best flavor.
Red and blue.
Yeah.
What flavor is red and blue?
Well, so see, it doesn't make sense because it says strawberry grape, but it doesn't taste like grape.
Grape.
Because I hate grape, but the blue is blue raspberry, obviously.
Yeah, this can't be grape. There's no chance.
It's a lie.
If you think this is grape, you're an ape. You're an ape.
Grape ape.
Grape ape is what I was trying. Yeah. What do we got on the docket today?
Oh boy, I got good stuff. Because it's a new year. We got to wrap up the old year, bring in the new year.
Shout out to 2021. I'm so glad you're gone.
2021.
Honestly, not a bad year for
year.
me. There was some rough spots. I cannot lie, but I'd say it's a pretty. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
For the most part, I had a lot of growth, a lot of fun. I did a lot of fun stuff. We had a cool vacation to Utah.
Oh yeah. That was a highlight.
That was lit. I graduated college.
Lucky man.
That was epic.
Lucky man.
I don't know. It was just a good. I feel like overall, I like to tend to look at positives, and be like, oh yeah, there were some negatives, but I mean, I'm not gonna let that ruin the whole experience. But I'd say it was a good year.
This is my training arc year.
Training arc year?
Yeah.
In what way?
They have in a show there's like a time skip. Mm-hmm. And they trained that year and got more powerful. I think that was this last year,
And so now you're at your full power?
I think so.
What tricks can you do? Like okay.
All right, well.
Okay.
I wasn't going to get into it on the podcast.
Sure.
But I can melt people's brains and make them pour out of their ears with my mind.
Oh, you're like...
I've killed a lot of people with my brain. And basically the police can't track me because telepathy isn't... I don't know if that's even in the laws in any way.
But like you're not... Sorry. Yeah, sorry. Like you're not joking or anything?
No, what? No.
Like you could for real melt people's
dude.
brains?
Mm-hmm. I just
go... No. I would... I don't not believe you. I'm just saying I don't need, you don't need to do the process when I'm in the vicinity. Well, anyway.
But anyway, yeah. So that was for me.
Yeah. But you know what else it was a great year for? Movies.
Was it?
Kind of.
Oh yeah, actually, one of my favorite movies of all time did come out last year. So
yeah, I was gonna say for you, at least one movie was very much up your alley.
Yes.
So we've talked a little bit about our own experience recently, but we want to spend a lot of this episode talking about some films that came out this year that we either liked or didn't like. I want to talk about a few that I didn't like. Not as long as I want to talk about the ones I liked, but and then maybe some music, some other things. And we'll just kind of bum around for 5 hours. Today's the 5-hour podcast.
Oh jeez.
No, it's not.
Oh.
One day, someday we'll have a 5-hour podcast.
Shh.
So I mean, I don't know. How do you want to do this? Do you want to just like?
I guess we can. We'll start Let's start with movies. Or actually, I guess, yeah, we'll start with movies.
Okay.
That came out this year.
Last year.
Yeah. What was your what was number one?
I'll tell you when I fix this computer that's going to sleep. Tell them about our sponsor.
Our sponsor today is Yo Mama, boy. That's right. She's sponsoring the podcast.
I don't think that's true.
I think it is.
I've gotten shocked 2 times in the past 10 seconds on different objects.
It is electric. This podcast is electric, Justin. Electric.
You know what Roger Ebert said?
What did he say?
This podcast is electric.
He did?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Thank you, Roger.
I don't know how he said it, because he's dead.
Well, through the grave, like the midnight YouTube channels where it's like, we called
Roger Ebert at 3 a.m.
Yeah, challenge. I don't know.
Gone wrong.
Gone wrong.
Well, as far as films that came out last year, I saw 26 movies that came out last year.
Wow.
In total, I watched 108 movies for the first time last year.
Whoa.
That was a slow year for me. Not to brag, but so I'll just start with some movies that came out last year that I was not a fan of and kind of work my way up to movies that I decently liked, and then we'll talk about the really good ones maybe. I don't know. That's how I'm going to do it. Worst movie I saw last year was Space Jam 2.
Yeah. Also, I saw like 10 movies last year or something.
Okay.
Like in total.
in total, period.
I did not watch that many movies.
Yeah. Well,
so.
See, I don't have a, like a, what do you call it? Like a life. Or
well,
anything.
no, my thing was just like, I don't know, just like I usually watch more movies. But this year I was just like.
Yeah. It is what it is. You can't, it's not like you're.
Nothing compelled me as much, I guess.
Sure. Space Jam 2 was awful.
What?
LeBron. And that's not even my bias because I don't like LeBron.
You don't like LeBron? You freaking racist.
And that's my
racist.
Chronic racism
Racist.
kicking in again. And I should say the first Space Jam isn't even really a masterpiece. Like, nostalgia-wise, I really like it. But, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like the first Space Jam had emotion and it was a film achievement. No, it wasn't. It was a big commercial. And, so is this, but this one just feels so much more commercially and, it was like they didn't even have to try.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, I just slapped the Looney Tunes on every Warner property. Let LeBron say some jokes from 2010.
2010 LeBron jokes.
Yeah, it just was not a good time. One of the films they watched on the bus ride, we take a bus up to Hume Lake, like we were talking about earlier. One of the films they watched on the way back was Space Jam 2, which is a film I have no desire to watch twice. Ooh. So I just popped in the old headphones and
safe move.
Closed my eyes, and I didn't nap. I can't fall asleep on a vehicle really, but I was vibing to the weekend, so that's how it goes.
Old man weekend.
Oh yeah, old man weekend. We'll talk about that later. I guess that's an album from 2022, so yeah, we can't talk about it. But
so that was the biggest of the dookie.
Yeah, I also didn't like Raya and the Last Dragon. That was a Disney film.
That was the one where she rode like armadillo or something.
Yeah, and Awkwafina's the dragon.
Oh,
she's quite annoying.
Oh boy.
But that was a movie I was.
What? I love Awkwafina, bro.
She's so good. She's so funny. She's actually okay in The Farewell, but that's all I've seen her in. Everything else I've seen her in is she's pretty obnoxious. And that's definitely true of this movie. It was not very fun. It wasn't very adventurous or inspiring. I don't really know that any kid. I don't even know that any kids liked it. Because there have been movies since then that Disney's made that people like more and connect more with.
Yeah.
I heard basically nothing about.
I've seen there's no hype around it.
No, there's like they didn't even really advertise it that much. It's kind of a dud.
It's no Frozen.
It's no Frozen. That's true. I think it's not as. I think Frozen's better than Raya and the Last Dragon. I'd say Raya and the Last Dragon's like honestly one of the lower tier Disney movies I've ever seen. It's like down there with like Pocahontas, dude. Like it's not good. I do not like it.
Hey, they can't make hits on all of them.
I feel bad about this one, but Godzilla vs. Kong, I didn't like very much.
You watch that?
In theory, it should be the best movie of all time. Right? I mean,
they never stick the landing on those though. That's
no,
what
they
I've
don't.
always found is I'm like, it's so easy. It's like
they just keep putting like humans in it and focusing on them. It's like the Transformers movies. No one cares about the people. We want to see Godzilla fight King Kong.
Zack.
Come on, how do you mess up that movie? Anyway,
it's not, or just on your point, but like, why do we need like a human to connect with?
Yeah,
it's just so stupid. It's like we're not Neanderthals. We can watch a movie that just has robots fighting.
Yeah,
good.
Yeah,
we don't need like this average dude who literally has nothing. Like he's literally the most boring character ever. Like butting into the story to be like, whoa, dude.
There's already another movie down the line that I'm going to talk about that's similar to that I thought was a little better than Godzilla vs. Kong. But anyway, I literally forgot everything about Godzilla vs. Kong except like a couple shots of the fights. Because whenever they're fighting, it's pretty cool. But it could be so much better. Free Guy. My buddy on Letterboxd's like third favorite movie or whatever. That one guy.
The roast victim.
He loves Free Guy.
He likes Free Guy?
Yeah, we talked about it, remember? Free Guy's like one of his favorite movies of all time.
Is Free Guy like a movie like an NPC type person watches and is like
an NPC type person?
It is like,
kind of.
I'm just like Free Guy.
It's about an NPC. I'm sure a lot of like nice guys really like that movie. You know what I mean?
Those are the scary ones.
Like a lot of like, oh man, I'm just an average everyday guy. Why can't my life be an adventure? It's like way less cool the Lego movie. You know? Because I love the Lego movie.
Yeah, there's no Chris Pratt in Free Guy.
Heck no. Speaking of Chris Pratt, that segues really well. The Tomorrow War is on Amazon Prime. It's about Chris Pratt. You hear about this one?
Yeah, it just gave me Live, Die, Repeat vibes. Yeah, and I was just like, that was like made a few years ago. So
it wasn't very interesting.
They're taking people from the past to fight in the future.
Yeah,
junk.
Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense, like at all.
So like it's insanely paradoxical. But I thought it was like surprisingly not awful. I liked a couple aspects of it. There's a couple like fight bits with the aliens. It was kind of cool. But again, I don't remember much of anything about it. And it also is probably one of the dumbest movies of the year in terms of logic. Not that logic makes a good movie, but Mortal Kombat is that movie I was talking about earlier where they shove a random human in to relate to everybody.
Okay, I was wondering what.
Yeah. Because like every scene in Mortal Kombat that I can remember, and I don't remember a lot of it, where, you know, Sub-Zero's fighting Scorpion or whatever, you know, Kano's walking around making quips, Sonya Blade's doing stuff, Jax. And I'm like, why isn't the movie about these people? You know, like there's a central guy named like Jim.
Didn't they add some like new?
Yeah, there's like a new guy and he's like new to the world. And he's like not a character from Mortal Kombat. And
when they have like golden like just a gold mine of characters to choose from, and like let's focus on someone new.
And it's not like Mortal Kombat characters are all like xenomorph aliens that can't speak.
Yeah,
like Sonya Blade is like she's a person in the military with a tragic past. You could just make her the main character.
Well, the quote unquote good guys, you know, like the more like the less mystical humans that participate in the Mortal Kombat thing, like Sonya Blade and like
Jax
and Johnny Cage.
Yeah.
And those like squad of 4 or 5 of them. They're the main characters. Like they're relatable. They're humans. Everybody already knows who they are.
Mm-hmm. You
like,
could, and they should have, and they didn't.
And like it's you know what I think it is? I think it happens a lot, especially with anything like adaptation wise. I think it's a conceit of the writers and the people behind it, and they kind of want to insert themselves in their own like writing kind of onto the source material.
Yeah.
And it kind of like, well, I'm gonna add this, and like this will be great. Like, you know, remember those silly goofy goobers that ruined Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
those 2 goofy goobers,
Darius and
Darbuckle or whatever the heck their name were. Yeah. But like those guys just became too conceited, and we're like, we're better writers than Martin anyway. We can do that. We can like introduce this and change this and change that. I feel like writers sometimes are just like, I'm gonna add this guy and he's gonna be even better because I'm better writer than the person who made this junk. This is just a job. Or like, this is just my leg up. Like next time I'll make my movie or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I could see that. But I mean, admittedly, once they start fighting, once they start combating, it's kind of fun. There's a couple of cool kills.
I'd watch clips of that.
Yeah, it's the kind of movie you would go on YouTube and Google like Mortal Kombat best kills or best fights, and you just watch that, and that's the whole experience. So
I actually did that recently. Like I went down a clip hole for just like all those like old action and horror movies that weren't any good or any, like, you know, just watching like the best clips from just like a ton of movies. And it was actually like really nice because it's like I didn't have to like waste all my time watching this whole movie. Yeah, I just watched like some of the better clips and like the iconic moments like I've heard about and stuff like that. And it's just like, this is.
There's nice. Some. I think every movie's worth watching the whole thing. If you know, there's nothing you'll lose from watching a movie the whole way through. But I won't deny that there are movies.
I don't know, bro. Legion. Like what 2012.
Oh, I don't know. I've never seen that. I've never seen that movie. But
or the fucking there's a video. I was watching some vampire movie clips, like The Preacher. Yeah.
Well, I'm not.
I was watching Book of Eli clips.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that like every movie's you're gonna gain something from every movie. I just mean like if you're like, this movie's bad, that doesn't mean you shouldn't feel bad about watching it just to see. You know. But there are a ton of movies where you can just watch YouTube clips and get the whole experience. A lot of Marvel films are like that, in my opinion. Like I like Marvel. I like the Marvel films, but there's a lot of them that you could just Google fight scene from that, and like those X-Men movies, like the newer ones.
Good God.
I like First Class a lot, and I liked Days of Future Past, but Apocalypse wasn't very good.
And then it went.
Yeah. But like you could just Google.
Oh, and then Dark Phoenix. Oh my. Yeah. Oh,
Dark Phoenix was bad.
Poo 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 poo.
But I mean, you could just Google Quicksilver scene X-Men Apocalypse, and you'd get the most out of that film.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like that's all you need is just that scene. So there's movies like that. Speaking of Marvel, Black Widow.
Ooh, ew.
Wasn't great. It wasn't actually awful, but it's one of the how do I phrase this? This is grammatically probably incorrect, but it's one of the most like stakeless films I've ever seen.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
Because it takes place before Infinity War, where Black Widow is alive, and anytime you do a prequel, it is very hard to make stakes real because you go, well, they're alive later. And, like, that's very hard to do. Like, most writers can't do it. So I'm not surprised that it didn't work for this.
Wait, actually, I was actually reading a book recently where a writer did that.
Yeah.
Like, they had, like, he's a guy who's alive in later books as a prequel. But he just gets in this, like, real nasty, like, scrap. He's, like, an assassin. And, like, has to take out, like, a bunch of dudes. And, like, he just put good stakes to, like, the scene. Like, he was just very well written and, like, kind of lays out, like, he's almost getting tortured by this guy and, like, all this stuff. And, like he was able to, like, still, like, make you invested in, like, what's going on.
Yeah. It's very hard. But this is a movie I don't think did it. Not that I really expected it to. Yeah, I didn't hate it. It's definitely on the lower end of Marvel for me, but it was all right. You know, it was okay. Nothing special. Fast 9. Watched, or F9, I guess it's called.
Did not see that either.
It's pretty dumb.
Did it drop off in quality from the other one?
No, I think it's not as good as 8. I liked 8 a lot, and I liked 7 a lot. I think it's about as good as like 4 or 6. So it's like an okay Fast movie.
Yeah.
It's very stupid. Like,
it's mid.
Yeah, but I mean, in my opinion, none of the Fast movies are actually good.
Yeah.
Really.
But for a Fast movie, it's like
for ironic enjoyment, as they go on, they're pretty fun. But this one's pretty stupid. Yeah. I don't know if this I counted it as a movie because you can add it on Letterboxd, but Dave Chappelle's like newest special.
Is that the one that he got in?
People got mad about that one.
And Tre Caliente Caramundo.
And I didn't even. This is like the okay. These movies are okay now. Part of the thing. I wasn't even mad about it. I just didn't think it was very funny. Just rating it as a comedy special, it was like, this isn't anything I would go back.
Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, shoot me. You know, people might want to shoot me, but ever since The Return, man, it just hasn't. Like, I watched those old 90s specials, and it's like they're just gut busters. Just like so funny. And then now it's just like he's just kind of preaching and like it seems like more like an intellectual lecturer type these days.
Yeah, which I think is fine.
Yeah,
I've seen some of his specials. I don't think I've seen all of his newer ones, but
I saw like the first 3 he did for Netflix.
Yeah, I think I've only seen 1 or 2 of them, and I've seen like clips of, like all of them through YouTube. And I think when he has something to say, it's kind of interesting. But it's just not like, it's not really comedy. Some of it is a little bit, but if I had to rank it as a comedy special, this newer one, I was like, this isn't really, not really laughing at anything. I'm agreeing with a couple things, not agreeing on everything, but you know, it's like a thing that it's a comedy special that makes you go like, like not like, ha ha, I'm gonna laugh at this.
Yeah.
Which you can do really well if you're like George Carlin.
Yeah, literally, but you have to literally be George Carlin.
You have to be an old, super wise. And I think
you have to be like Bill Hicks' character.
Yeah.
Like, kind of like unhinged.
Yeah.
When you're doing it. Not like Chappelle's delivery is just so like
a statement.
Dry now.
Yeah.
He's just so like serious.
George Carlin. I mean, I think George Carlin because I think he's super funny.
George Carlin's the man.
He said stuff like he would talk like this, like with his hands in the air, and like, you know, you could tell he was just frustrated with stuff, and that's what's funny
with life in the world. Yeah,
you can just like he's an old. We all have an old guy inside of us, and George Carlin kind of was that.
But he was the cool old guy that we all wanted to be too. Like,
oh yeah,
because he was super chill in like some ways, and he was always angry and frustrated with the right things. He wasn't frustrated with like nonsense like most old people.
Yeah, he was just yelling at like funny stuff. He's like, I hate people who fly in hot air balloons. It's like, are you kidding? Like this stupid entitled, like, because it's like, yeah, what? Like, I don't hate people who fly in hot air balloons, but that's funny to get annoyed at. But you know, Chappelle's thing was okay. The William Eyelash documentary on Apple TV Plus.
Is that Billy's brother?
No, I was calling Billie Eilish William.
William Eyelash?
Oh, William Eyelash. She's a documentary, which is shocking to me because she hasn't really been around for that long. It was okay. It was way too long. It's like 2.5 hours.
Jeez.
It's kind of interesting. You know, there's a lot of footage of her on tour, like behind the scenes. But on it, like, I don't know that she warrants a documentary yet. At this point,
it's been like
in her career
2-3 years of.
I can't deny that she's blown out in fame. You know, she's huge, but this was made before even her most recent album came out. And I'm like, is there really 2.5 hours worth of documentary material about like a teenager who's made an album? I don't think so. It wasn't bad, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
2.5.
I wouldn't watch it.
I mean, you don't have to.
I wouldn't watch 2.5 hours about Billy.
I didn't realize it was 2.5 hours long until I clicked it, and then was like, "Uh-oh, I'm gonna be here a while."
But you stuck with it? You locked in?
Yeah, I never quit on movies.
Go for the gold.
Of course. I think you should always finish a film. Unless it's like, I mean, I don't know. You can do whatever you want, I guess.
Garbaggio.
I'm like, well, if I start a movie, I'm going to finish it. It probably won't get better, but I have to. I have to at least finish.
Oh, computer.
Speaking of documentaries, Val is a documentary Val Kilmer made.
Huh.
And he's filmed himself over the course of many years of his career. He has like a home video camera or whatever. So he and like a filmmaker or whatever have compiled a lot of footage of his life.
Dang.
And I think that's kind of interesting. But in the same vein as the Billie Eilish one, his life story is like kind of interesting. He just like is very famous, you know?
Yeah.
And it's cool to see his like behind the scenes footage he filmed himself. Like, oh, I'm on the set of Tombstone and here's Kurt Russell and here's Paxton. That's cool to me. I wish it was more of that. But ultimately, you know, he's got like I forget what disease. He's got like the speaker box thing. Like he can't. It's
really?
it's like some throat cancer or something.
Oh, wow.
So he can't really speak.
Oh, dang. I didn't know that.
Anymore. I didn't either. I forgot. Like, I think I had heard about it, but so that's not to diminish his story, but I was like, as far as documentaries go,
not that.
It was okay. No Sudden Move. That was Steven Soderbergh's new movie.
Soderbergh.
It was all right. It felt like the I don't know. It just didn't connect as much. I really liked Ocean's 11 and a couple other Soderbergh movies. But
oh, okay. That's Soderbergh.
14 and 13 are kind of tied. I could honestly switch either of these.
Okay.
And it's Encanto, which is a new Disney film. I think it's Disney. And Luca, which is one of the new Pixar movies.
Versus Luca versus Encanto.
Oh, I don't really know which. I put Luca above Encanto just because I thought it was a little more interesting to tell like a smaller scale story.
Well, that's cool. You like Italians more than Mexicans, dude. That's
yeah,
cool.
I just figured.
You like Fish Boys more than Mexican people.
To be fair, I said I said they were interchangeable. I said it was like a tie.
Oh, true.
So it could go either way.
To not get canceled.
Whatever. So they're about the same to me. I didn't love either one, but I thought it was decent. Zack Snyder's Justice League. I was surprised at how good it was. I don't know that I would watch it again, like in a hurry, because it's 4 hours long.
Oh, good.
But I mean, considering I thought, like when I heard that there was no new footage, they were just gonna re-edit stuff that already existed. I was like, how are you gonna make it good? Because Justice League is a bad movie. So I was shocked at how much good stuff had gotten cut out. Like it's honestly shocking.
That's weird.
If you've seen the original cut, it's kind of depressing. But
so is that Joss Whedon's fault?
It's Joss Whedon and it's the studio.
Joss Whedon,
because the studio also was like, first Zack Snyder had to leave like halfway through the filming because his like daughter passed away.
Yeah.
But then the studio was like I think they kind of bent to fan reception of like Batman versus Superman and like the Suicide Squad or normal Suicide Squad, bad Suicide Squad, because they were like
Suicide Squad, yeah.
They were like, oh, our films are too serious. We got to be more like Marvel. So I think they hired Joss Whedon to kind of make it more upbeat. Anyway, this is the fixed version, so there you go. And then just out of the top 10 is The French Dispatch. I liked it. I thought it was really good. I haven't seen every Wes Anderson movie yet. I'm close. But I'd say this is on the lower end, but I still like all his movies. So I think giving it a rewatch might make it a little better. But the theater we saw it in, because we saw it together, did not crop the screen properly. And there are subtitles. Remember this?
Oh, yeah.
There's like subtitles in the movie. And
that sucked.
The theater cut off a lot of the subtitles because the bottom was...
Freaking idiots.
So I didn't know a couple lines of dialogue, but that's fine. Nothing a TV watch couldn't fix.
I like the mixed media type feel to it.
Yeah, I thought it was cool seeing all those different like ways to... You could tell he had a lot of fun making that movie.
Yeah.
And the cast did. All right. What are some movies you really liked from this past year?
That I liked?
I have more to talk about. Like, I have my top 10, but
Should we ping pong?
Sure.
Yeah, I didn't have nearly as many. See, my thing, I'm smart, Jess. I didn't watch like anything that I didn't like.
I'm smart, so I'm dumb?
No, I'm just kidding.
But
I'm
quitting the show.
My newest philosophy has been to avoid bad good movies, like bad movies like The Plague.
Sure.
So I just don't want to watch bad movies anymore.
I should say, by the way, all the bad movies that I said on here, I watched for free. So in my defense,
oh, that's nice.
Aside from I think Free Guy, Free Guy I saw in theaters because I thought this might be okay. You know, I thought there was a chance because Sean Levy was directing it and all this stuff. But pretty much all these movies were streaming when I watched them. So in my defense, I didn't pay to see any bad movies, but I did watch them.
Oh, you didn't. That's good. That's good that you didn't at least pay, because that would. Woo. Okay, sorry. Let's see here. So this year, stuff that really. All right, I was able to add it. So, okay. So, I think Possessor. I watched that.
Oh yeah,
so that was the young Cronenberg boy.
Was that last year?
I think so. I don't think it came out last year, but I watched it last year.
Okay. Oh, these are just movies you watched last year?
Yeah. Okay. I think I watched like 2 movies. I watched 4 movies that came out last year.
Sick. That's fine.
So I'll just go for my general list.
Possessor, though.
Yeah, Possessor. Good stuff. That was the Cronenberg boy.
I liked Possessor. I thought it was okay.
Yeah, it was it was fun to see his son do something.
Yeah,
like
I thought
how he.
That was cool.
And then I did. Let's see. I'm sorry, my Wi-Fi is being all weird.
It's because there's no Wi-Fi.
Wait,
here.
1 second.
Morgan,
can I get the hotspot again? It's still on. Turn it off and on again, or maybe come closer.
Today's episode is brought to you by internet connectivity problems.
Internet connectivity problems.
In today's episode, Ethan will say everything I say, slightly after I say it.
Okay, see, here we go. This is better. Now it's all loaded. All right, so what was I on?
Possessor.
Okay, yes, Possessor. Bad Trip with Eric Andre.
Oh, Bad Trip. That's my number 8 movie.
Oh, nice.
I quite liked Bad Trip.
Quite liked it as well. It was harkened back to those Jackass days, those classic prank movies. Yeah. I guess Eric Andre's special up there as well with that.
Oh, I didn't see his new special.
Oh, it's great. It's hilarious.
What's it called? Ranch Up.
No, I think it's called. Let me see here. Legalize Everything.
Oh, that's right. I didn't watch it, but I thought Bad Trip was really had some funny stuff in it.
Yeah, Bad Trip was hilarious.
I'm a sucker, and I thought it was great how they weaved the pranks together with a narrative.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was something. I think that's something every prank type movie should try to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was done really well. And I was surprised at how many people don't recognize Eric Andre and Tiffany Haddish and
right,
Lil Rel Howery. Like how many people were like, I don't
just
know
didn't know who they were. Yeah,
crazy.
it is pretty interesting. I also watched I watched Naked Lunch by David Cronenberg. Awesome.
That's an older one.
Loved it. Super surreal, wacky.
Mm-hmm. I tried to watch it. I think you recommended it, but it literally wasn't available anywhere.
Yeah, that was difficult to find.
Yeah.
Dark City.
Is that...
That's the one the Matrix ripped off pretty hard.
Ah.
Green Knight. Watch The Green Knight.
Green Knight, that is my number 7.
Green Knight, yep. I enjoyed that movie. I liked the symbolism, the unconventional moral tales and stuff like that.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool. I liked the ending a lot. Yeah. I feel like it's one of those movies people are going to call boring because it's kind of like you think it's a medieval movie, and I feel like the average person doesn't realize that
it's like a drama.
Even most medieval stories are like this, where it's like, it's not necessarily, oh, we're going to go fight a bunch of people. It's like, oh, some guy has to learn a lesson about wisdom or patience or, any of the things he learns in this movie. I thought Dev Patel was great.
Good old Dev. I like that guy.
I liked the soundtrack. I missed it when it was in theaters, but I rented it.
Yeah.
Like toward the end of the year. And it was a good watch. I was glad I got around to seeing it. That was probably my most, that was the movie I looked forward to the most, at the start of last year. And it ended up being pretty good.
Yeah.
I'd say it lived up.
Lived up to the hype. Oh, yeah, for sure. Watch Blade 1. Oh, man. So good.
Blade 1.
Freaking sick.
With your favorite line of all time.
Yeah, some of Mother Evas just can't help but ice skate uphill.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Oh, man.
When you told me that, I thought you were lying. That sounds like... That's literally the dumbest thing. They can't help but ice skate uphill.
You can't help but ice skate uphill.
That's so dumb. I can't even begin to explain.
What?
Blade 1.
Yeah, Blade 1.
That was like pre X-Men even.
Yeah, that was
kind of
one of the OG superhero movies, actually.
That wasn't Guillermo del Toro, though, was it?
No.
That was some other guy.
That was, some other guy.
Some other guy. It's going to end up being someone we know.
I don't think, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Then, Tetsuo the Iron Man.
What? Tetsuo the Iron Man?
Mm-hmm.
What is that?
Really weird body horror.
Cool.
About a guy that gets a metal body.
Oh.
Reanimator.
Uh-huh.
Which was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Amazing. I'm pretty sure it's Cronenberg.
That sounds like I believe it is Cronenberg.
But yeah. And then Dune came out, obviously. That's like my number 2 movie of all time.
What is Dune?
It's about this guy who does a bunch of drugs in the desert and gets eaten by a worm.
Oh, like Jonah?
Yeah.
In the Bible?
Yeah.
That's cool.
But it's in the desert.
I see.
No, but I could talk about Dune all day. I'm a big Dune. What do you a Dune?
Yeah, I called you a Dunatic.
Dunatic.
Yeah, you are quite the fan of Dune. So.
Yeah. So.
Which, I mean, to be fair, if you really liked it, that must mean it's very good. Like if it pleased a super hardcore Dune fan.
Oh yeah. It was like the perfect adaptation. It's a like Lord of the Rings level for me, at least personally.
Do you think? And I watched it too. It's number 4 on my list. It'll probably go up if I'm being honest. But from what I've heard, it's like, is this not like you probably, I don't know if you think this because you like the whole story, but is this not like the less interesting part of the story compared to like what part 2 will be?
Yeah. I mean, it's the first half of the book, so it's gonna be it's the unfortunate part about splitting something in 2 parts is it's like what are you gonna do, man? Like, you got the exposition. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but that's like,
well, not you, but like I know a lot of people were like, ooh.
Yeah, I mean, but for being a film that is basically all set up, it's really good.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So, in fairness, there's that.
Mm-hmm.
I did watch. I mean, I'm not really getting ahead of myself, but I watched David Lynch's Dune as well this year. It was all right. Like, I get why he doesn't like it.
Yeah.
And it is very strange. But it's also kind of silly. Like,
it's a fun movie.
There's some stuff in there. I'm like,
the Baron's awesome when he's like flying around.
He's just flying around, giggling. That is pretty funny.
What's so Dune? Yeah, amazing.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't seen it, watch it. The Civil War on Drugs. That was fun. That's the Whitest Kids You Know's their movie.
Love those guys.
There's French Dispatch, obviously.
Yep.
Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Spider-Man.
It's too late, Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, I've already dropped ibuprofen into the rivers of New York City.
Like,
I don't know.
I guess the thing I'll rave about, like, it was they like it was just actually like well put together and like written. Like it felt like there was like actually some like power scaling going on. They're actually getting into like anytime maybe someone fought someone and like won a fight, they did it in like a logical way. Like it just like then a lot of superhero movies just kind of like they fight and then what happens and there's no real like actual plot reason for anything happening. It's all just spectacle and then the plot just goes where it needs to go.
Yeah.
Without any like driving anything. But it really felt like everything in this movie was like coming from somewhere. Yeah. And it like did such a great job of bringing all this different material from all these different because nothing's like this has ever been done before. It crossed over 3 movie franchises.
Oh yeah.
Over 20 years or whatever the heck it's been. Like it's wild.
Yeah. Obvious spoilers for No Way Home.
Oh, yeah.
If you haven't seen it yet, who are you? Because the movie's made close to $1.5 billion. And by the way, I don't know if you knew this, it hasn't even released in China.
Really?
Isn't that insane?
That's nuts.
It's literally like breaking box office records.
Broken records?
Yeah, it's broken everything. It hasn't even released in China, where most of box office money today, if you don't know this, China's where a lot of movies make their money. That market hasn't even seen it, which is insane to me. But yeah, spoilers for it. I thought it was awesome. I thought it was one of the best Marvel movies that's come out.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely my favorite of the 3 Spider-Mans.
One of the only things worth watching since Endgame came out.
Oh, surely. As someone that watched
For sure.
Black Widow, and I just recently watched Eternals.
Mm-hmm.
It's about on the same level as Black Widow. It's not great. But aside from I liked Loki season 1, there really hasn't been anything Marvel-wise that I'm like, you gotta see this. And I think you gotta see No Way Home.
But like, the only bad thing for me about No Way Home is I'm like, what do you do from here, man? Like, you just made. Like we're gonna look back, obviously, and like I think Infinity War and No Way Home will probably be like 2 of the crowning achievements of the Marvel and the MCU as a whole.
Yeah,
but like I don't know what you do after that. Like
I don't even,
because it's not like you can't top it the movie quality wise. It's like you need 20 years of build up to make what they did. So like I don't know if there's like in the works enough setup to even do something like that again.
And it's basically just like it's like a fan fiction almost.
Yeah.
But like with
$1 billion budget.
But and written well. Yeah. You know, if I told you that there was this misty-eyed 2015 or 2016 Justin going, one day there'll be a movie where Tom Holland and Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire fight all the villains.
You would have laughed and then be like,
You'd
yeah,
have
whatever,
been like,
dude.
yeah, okay, that'll, like, how do you even write that film?
Yeah.
And this film is so well paced. It's almost 2.5 hours, which is as long as, let me see actually. Billie Eilish documentary, 140 minutes. That's 2 hours and 20 minutes. So it's just under 2.5 hours. Spider-Man No Way Home is 148 minutes. So it's 8 minutes longer, just under 2.5 hours. But honestly, it flew by.
Oh yeah.
When I watched it, and I've seen it.
Good.
I've seen it twice in theaters. And you know, I can sit here and like, oh, this film's cinematography is great, and I like cinematography in this one. But
yeah,
sometimes when you judge a movie's quality, you gotta take into account the audience, you know, and like who this movie's for.
Yeah,
like this movie's for Spider-Man fans,
mm-hmm.
people that just want to see a cool, good Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
And I think this is probably the best live-action Spider-Man movie there is. I only say live-action because Spider-Verse exists.
Yeah,
and I think Spider-Verse is like the best, one of the best things ever.
Yeah,
but that's number 6 on my list is No Way Home, and I can only see it going up.
Or I think one more thing. No Way Home. You were talking about it has stakes.
Yeah,
there's it's like yes, there's stakes in this movie. Like
the violence actually goes, like you said, like fight scenes lead to other fight scenes, like fight to the plot and
lead to things, or like an example for me is I'm blanking now, but like things had me like, oh, you know, spoilers.
I already
like,
said
you know,
that all 3 Spider-Men are in
his
it.
aunt, you know, like freaking straight up bites the dust, bro.
Mm-hmm. Well, just like,
didn't see that one I was like,
I didn't either. I didn't honestly feel a lot because I don't really like Marissa Tomei's May.
Yeah.
But to the film's credit, I don't have to, because, you know, Peter Parker likes Aunt May.
Yeah.
And he's really sad when she dies.
Yeah,
and so
exactly.
I'm sad.
That's all you need.
So,
or it's just like the relationship. It's like, there's also the empathy. It's like, oh man, his family member died. That's really sad.
Yeah, it is. And I think, you know, it's easy for Marvel to kind of just pump out these films and shows or whatever. And this is a movie that was clearly made by people that actually like Spider-Man and like understand why people like him. I could go on forever about No Way Home. I thought it was awesome. But yeah,
or with the with the death stuff.
Yeah,
I feel like in earlier movies or like other movies, like I never felt for like the Uncle Ben death.
The Uncle Ben, what happened? Squid Games.
Squid Games. No, but I never really felt for those moments as much.
Mm-hmm.
But I think one thing that am I recalling this right? Like when his aunt, you know, dies.
Yeah.
Like the other Spider-Mans are also there as well, and like there's like an empathy there from them because like they've literally
they're there
like
later.
Exact same things happen.
So she dies, and then he goes up to like be sad, and then the scene where the other 2 Spider-Man show up,
like that's like a brilliantly
they go to meet him,
executed that because like I don't know, there's just like so much such context and good stuff there, you know.
It's I've had people. You know, I didn't spoil it for anybody, but people were like, do I have to watch the other Spider-Mans to get it because of the villains?
Mm-hmm.
And like, I had just rewatched the Raimi movies before watching No Way Home for the first time. And like, it didn't, you know, I didn't have to, obviously. I think you could probably go in watching just the 3 Tom Hollands and you'd probably enjoy it. Yeah. It's a good movie, but
it wouldn't have the impact or the
scope. Seeing Andrew Garfield show up and talk about stuff. I don't even like those movies. His movies.
Good movies, but
but I loved seeing him.
It almost redeemed those movies, which is cool.
Yeah, it's cool. It tricks you into thinking that those movies are good because it makes you go, "Oh, Andrew Garfield is so good as Spider-Man. If only he was in better Spider-Man movies." And now we get to see him in at least one, so that's kind of cool.
Or I've thought of an example I was saying, like writing wise, like things that make sense.
Yeah.
Like the fact that like I think it's a different Spider-Man fighting the same villains and like seeing how this one would fight them in a different way solely based on his character.
Yeah.
And stuff and there's actual like meaning and value to like the way that they portray the characters or like they decide to like do things. Like there's actual like, because again, so many times it's just pure spectacle and there's no actual like context. There's nothing going on under the surface in like these movies, and it's just kind of like, oh, look at this guy. Oh, look at this. Oh, that's cool.
To your point, like this version of Peter Parker has kind of gotten off without having to lose a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like he loses Tony Stark in Endgame, but like that's a self-sacrifice thing. Like Thanos didn't kill Tony Stark.
Mm-hmm.
Tony Stark was like, "I'm gonna do it myself. Fine, I'll do it myself."
It's also not as he was kind of in the background of that whole situation.
Yeah,
it's not like he personally like directly
like I helped Green Goblin, even though I knew I probably shouldn't have.
Yeah, and
that directly led to someone that I lost. You know, and I think that's great because it establishes Peter. You know, I like saying at the end of this, he goes from being Peter Parker the boy to he is like Spider-Man at the end. You know, he's got to make some tough decisions in this movie.
Yeah,
and you know, without geeking out too much, I think it's a great. Just it gets to the heart of Spider-Man, why people like him, and so I thought it was a great movie.
Oh yeah. I 2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up for me.
Enjoyed that one quite a bit. Let's see. I have very few left here.
Okay.
Then we had Bo Burnham's Inside. I'll let you talk more about that. I think I definitely did enjoy it.
Yeah.
For Shazang.
Mm-hmm.
We had Nobody. I saw that with you.
Yeah, we saw that. That was a good one. That was my first movie back in theaters.
I think mine too.
Yeah,
it must have been.
That's my number 2 movie.
Yeah, I gotta watch that again. That was a great movie.
Oh, it's so good. That was one of the most pure films I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was a pure film.
Where it's just like, this is just good. This is just.
Yeah, it made you feel you felt it too. You know, it was very. Again,
this is why you go to the movies. Like there's no fat on this movie.
No fat.
Love it.
Oh, I watched The Wolf of Wall Street for the first time.
Oh, I still haven't seen that.
Yeah.
Seen a lot of clips.
It's interesting because like I've heard so much about this movie over the years. You know.
Mm-hmm.
You'd think it was like idyllic in a way.
Right.
Or not to me, but like to everyone I've heard talks about it like it's like this, like I wish my life was like Jordan Belfort, and then it's just watching this movie, just seeing how like depraved and just like awful these like people, like these bankers, these Wall Street types, and like big money men and scam artists and all this stuff.
Yeah.
It's interesting to see like how the general populace kind of views this kind of behavior, and then like going into it being like, oh,
and like their fan reception of like, oh, what a crazy, cool lifestyle.
It's like, and it's just like this
guy was pretty self-destructive.
This guy is very self-destructive, and like it's like to me it's more like I don't want to be like on high. It's just more sad to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's, like, a scene later in the movie where he takes a bunch of really old drugs or something. And he's literally so drugged out of his mind, he's crawling on the floor, can barely speak and stuff. And, like, eventually the FBI gets him. He betrays everybody he's ever known. It's like by the end of the movie, like, I was like, this guy is, like, one of the lowest of the low humans you can be. Because he betrayed all his friends, which is, like,
that's pretty low.
Like, other than, like, actual, like, physically harmful things, that's probably, like, one of the worst things you can do.
Yeah.
And, like, people are just, oh, this guy's bad. It's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. Yeah, I've been meaning to get around to The Wolf of Wall Street.
But just, like, so he's just, but just, like, him, like, just getting super just into drugs and prostitutes and all this stuff, and then like his marriage falling apart, and like his wife leaving him and like hating him, and his child going away, like all this stuff. It's like it's just like jeez, jeez Louise, people got the different message than me from this movie. Yeah, 'cause to me it's like this is the danger of this lifestyle.
Yeah, I would hope people get that message, but I guess not.
Well, apparently like a good amount of people were like, "I'm gonna be a day trader now because of Wall Street."
I'm gonna sell NFTs.
And then two more. I had two more. I had Alejandro Jodorowsky. I watched The Holy Mountain.
Oh, I've heard of this.
That was crazy, man. That movie was nuts.
That's yeah. I've heard a lot of people say it's very good.
Yeah, I enjoyed it quite a bit. It was one of my favorite things I saw.
I kind of want to go in without knowing too much about it. I just know it's really crazy, and a lot of film people really like it. So
it's just like I'd say he's the only surrealist filmmaker to rival someone like Lynch. You know, or not Cronenberg. Cronenberg gets close as well. I'd say, but like he's the other big. He's important. Sure. And especially as far as like foreign surrealism goes in film. Like David Lynch is the American surrealist for sure.
Yeah. Okay. I that's one of those that I think I'm gonna get around to.
It's purely a symbolic movie. It's not literal. Like so, it's if you go and like think like, oh yeah, it's gonna be like we're gonna go do this, and like there's gonna be
and
dialogue,
then this scene will happen,
like
and then this. No, I'm sure it's not like that.
Yeah, it's very avant-garde and artistic. And then the final thing I watched this year, The Greasy Strangler.
I think I've heard of this movie. Haven't you talked about it before?
Yeah. I'd never seen it before though. It was this guy's dad is like a serial killer that covers himself in grease and kills people. The Greasy Strangler. And it's like one of those movies that like makes a point to be like pointless and dumb and like have bad dialogue and like all this stuff.
Sure.
And then I guess like the overarching message is just like you become your parents. I see. By the end of the movie, the son becomes a greasy strangler, and they like, go around on a killing spree, killing everybody.
That's great for them.
Yeah,
I'm happy for them.
It's a great movie.
Greasy Strangler. That's one of those that, I think I've my only exposures that you've mentioned it before. I think you've seen the trailer or something. I was like, the Greasy Strangler. So I saw it pop up on your letterbox, and I was like, oh my gosh, like unlocked a memory. I forgot this movie existed. Dang. What would you say of those? I mean, okay, Other than Dune, probably what was the movie you enjoyed the most out of those?
The most out of all those? Like I really enjoyed The Holy Mountain a lot. Because I was just like it was real. It's good eye candy, but like not like pointless eye candy. It was like eye candy, and like each frame is like a painting, and you could probably analyze for a good amount of time, being like, oh, that could symbolize that, and that could be that, and that's that. Civil War on Drugs was definitely the funniest thing I watched this year.
Yeah,
it was absolute chuckle fest. Other than that, Naked Lunch, liked that a lot.
Yeah.
Again, in the surrealist vein, that was kind of. I've been feeling like a little disillusioned with movies. Okay. Kind of like feeling like sometimes I really want like. Yeah, sometimes I want something jarring. It's like I want to feel again. It's like I want something like an experience. It's gonna
really like hit you in the.
And just I really like movies that are visceral now. You know. Like, I don't want to mess around with milk toast.
I haven't seen this movie yet, but I guess there was a movie last year called Mad God.
Okay, it's not out yet. You can't
watch it anymore.
Watch it, yeah. Dang, I have been like.
Anyway, I was gonna say I feel like that's a movie that you would really like. I want to watch. Yeah. I want to watch it really bad.
But it's coming out very soon.
Okay.
So it premiered at film festivals last year, and then he's yet to do a wider release.
And so that, like, when you said that, I was like, I feel like Mad God has got to be one of those.
Oh no,
it looks so cool.
It looks so sick.
Well, I'll just do my top 10. We talked about a few of these already. Number 10 for me, and this will definitely change.
15.
Number 15. Wasn't he in Smiling Friends?
Yeah. He's just in a restaurant going, number 15.
Wait, is it the actual guy or is it like...
Yeah, it's him.
That's awesome, actually. This order will definitely change over time because film opinions change. 10 for me was The Suicide Squad.
I gotta watch that.
The new James. I will say, and I've been watching this year Peacemaker, which is on HBO Max, and it's a spinoff of this. James Gunn's style of humor, for me, is not hit or miss, but it's like a pattern. Like I can see his kind of joke, where it's a character going like, oh, this ridiculous statement, and another character going like, that statement isn't real, and then another character going, yes, it like, it's very, I don't know how to describe it, but I've heard the same conversation in a lot of James Gunn things, and if you just watch like the first episodes of Peacemaker that are out, you'll hear like the same bit of dialogue a lot, and that's not bad necessarily, but the more I think about stuff like The Suicide Squad, I'm like, it's not hilarious, but it was good. I thought it was definitely one of the best DC movies that there've been in a while. It's got a lot of heart.
See, I find James Gunn more entertaining than funny.
Yeah.
I never thought he was funny.
Yeah. But he also said this was like the film he thinks it's his best film.
Mm-hmm.
I don't agree with that. I think Guardians 2 and even Guardians 1 is better than this. But
other than those, like, probably for sure, because he made Super before that.
Super.
With freaking Rainn Wilson.
Yeah. I mean, he did write Scooby-Doo.
True.
Scooby-Doo 2.
He wrote those, yeah.
But The Suicide Squad was a lot of fun. It was definitely a step up for DC. I don't think DC needs to necessarily do what they're doing right now, which is, like, be the edgy version of Marvel where we can say the F word and we can blow people's heads up. Yeah. And they're kind of doing that, but it sold a lot of money. It sold a lot of tickets, so
that's the market,
go for it, I guess. But I like Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
The Mitchells versus the Machines is on Netflix. It's Sony Pictures, so same guys that did Spider-Verse.
Okay.
And it's like a rare, actually funny animated movie. It's like Lord and Miller too, so I don't think.
What is it? What is it?
Lord and Miller?
No, the Mitchells.
Oh, it's it was titled something else back in the day. I don't know if you've seen that poster before. Basically, it's this family that goes on a road trip, and then Siri like takes over a bunch of robots and starts kidnapping all of humanity. So it's up to this family to like to bond with each other and defeat the robot uprising.
That's nice.
It's very funny and it's pretty heartfelt. I will say there is some cringy stuff in there.
I bet.
That some people will not call cringy, but I will say it's a little cringe a couple times, but not often. It's a movie about like a family coping with technology, so the fact that I wasn't dying of cringe every 5 seconds tells you it's pretty good. I thought it was a fun time. And then number 8 was Bad Trip. Number 7 was Green Knight. Number 6 was Spider-Man No Way Home. Number 5 for me was Tick, Tick, Boom, which is
that's Garfield, right?
Andrew Garfield. It's actually
and
a
he
nice.
Has AIDS.
He does not have AIDS. He doesn't have AIDS.
I know, but
but he writes a musical about people with AIDS that doesn't.
So he appropriates AIDS culture.
No, he has a best friend who has AIDS.
Oh, okay.
And like everyone he knows had AIDS.
He has the AIDS pass.
Yeah, he has the AIDS pass. He wrote the most famous thing about AIDS of all time, a musical about AIDS.
Are you sure it's the most famous thing about AIDS of all time?
Name me another piece of media about AIDS that's more famous than Rent. And don't say the Dallas Buyers Club.
The Emoji Movie.
The Emoji Movie?
Yeah.
They don't get AIDS in the Emoji Movie.
It is AIDS.
Oh.
It's a personification of AIDS.
All right.
Okay. I'm being a silly.
I'm being guys. It's for the jokes.
It's Dallas Buyers Club.
Dallas Buyers Club. I've never seen Dallas. No, but Tick Tick Boom was awesome. I like myself a good musical, and I thought this was really good. I didn't know Andrew Garfield could sing so well. Honestly, this and No Way Home, he was great in both of them. I think Andrew Garfield's just one of my favorite actors.
I liked him. He's good.
He's awesome.
Social Network, he was dope.
Best part of Social Network. I've always been a huge Andrew Garfield fan, so
I wanted to watch that movie where he's like a schizophrenic guy. He's like seeing all the clues or some junk.
Oh, Under the Silver Lake.
Yeah,
I watched that this past year.
Is that good?
It was pretty good. I liked it. He's good in that as well, and there's a lot of kind of weird stuff in that movie too. So I'd say it's worth a watch. Same guy that did It Follows.
Okay, yeah.
Which I also watched this year for the first time. Getting ahead of myself.
That's good.
I liked It Follows. But Tick Tick Boom is really good, and it talks a lot. You know, it's a guy who's like just turning 30, and he feels like, I've done nothing in life, even though he's this crazy creative genius.
Yeah.
You know? And there's a lot of stuff I relate to where I'm like, dang, like, I'm not even that old, but I'm like, why haven't I done more? Like, I gotta, you know, there's so many more things I need to accomplish. So there's a lot of that in this movie. And so, I don't know, there were a lot of moments in this where I was like, dang, that hits close to home.
Yeah.
I'm not dying of AIDS, but neither is he, but, you know, just emotionally, I think a lot.
Neither is he. But
I mean, he's not even dying of AIDS. I don't even know why I said that.
Someone is. I don't know.
Someone's dying of AIDS. I don't know. It's about AIDS. Talk like a old man. Talk like your uncle about a movie.
Oh,
I don't know. Someone's dying.
You know they're making the green M&M look sexy.
Why did you bring that up?
The
green M&M.
You said talk like an uncle, and that's what people's uncles get mad about.
Okay,
is what they're doing with the M&Ms.
Number 4 is Dune.
Ah, yes,
Dune. Well, hang on.
Dune was probably the best movie that came out this year. You see, what Villeneuve was able to do was he was able to adapt the greatest book of all time into a movie.
I thought the greatest book of all time was the Bible.
Okay, well, we're talking about Dune right now.
We're talking about Dune, not the Bible.
He was able to take the best thing, and you know what he did, guys? He didn't change it. He just adapted it. You know,
That's the key.
He didn't say like, you know, I'm Denis Villeneuve, the genius.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so good at writing. I'm gonna create a new character named Dobingo, and he's gonna be the new villain. And I'm also gonna do a little 10-year-old boy because he's way more relatable than Paul, and he's gonna be the main character. And we're gonna change Arrakis to a forest planet, and you know you get the idea.
And then Paul says, "Curse you, Dobingo."
Dobingo, curse you.
Yeah, I really like Dune, and I'm excited for part 2. I'm sure. I feel like when part 2 comes out, it'll make me like part 1 more.
Yeah.
Once I have the full visual scope of everything.
I think that like it's gonna when part 2 comes out, it's gonna click. I think part 2 is gonna be like cultural phenomenon. I think it's gonna be crazy.
Do you think it's gonna be as big as like Lord of the Rings was?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because like it was the first Dune, like for being like what it was, like it already like I think made some big waves.
Oh yeah.
It was like I think I heard people talking about it that I would have never thought would be talking about it, which is always a good sign. Where it's like, oh, yeah, it's on their radar.
I did think it was funny when stuff was like TV, the commercials were advertising Dune, like TV spots or whatever, and it would say like this generation's next Star Wars, and I was like, do you know that Star Wars is entirely inspired by Dune, right? like you know that Star Wars is the next Dune when it came out. Anyway, I thought that was pretty funny.
It is funny how the cards fall, isn't it?
Quick tangent about Star Wars. Can I just say something that's annoyed me recently? If this is you, no offense to you, but why is it that I've seen so many people put Revenge of the Sith as their favorite Star Wars movie, and like one of the best movies of all time for these people?
It's like a meme thing.
Is it? I think they're doing it unironically.
Actually, okay. You touch on something, Jess. I've always had this problem.
Yeah.
Like whenever I talk to like a lot of people about Star Wars,
mm-hmm.
it's like they're all inevitably like within the top 2. It's either Empire Strikes Back or Revenge of the Sith. And I've never gotten that because I'm like, Revenge of the Sith is at least like number 4 for me.
Yeah. I like Revenge of the Sith.
Not any better than any
a
of the
decent
originals,
amount.
though.
No. Like, to say that, like, it's your favorite Star Wars movie?
Because people are like, whoa, you get to see Anakin become Darth Vader. It's
you
like,
get to see it
it's the most important moment in the whole series.
Yeah, it's rushed and, like, not written well.
Doesn't make any sense.
It's not a good movie, you guys. Like, there's good moments in it. I will admit.
People just look. They don't actually remember the movie. They probably saw it a decade ago.
No. Having rewatched it recently.
Yeah.
It is as boring as the other prequels are. With more, it's better than the other prequels by a mile. Because
that ending fight just taints it.
Yeah, there's exciting stuff in Revenge of the Sith, but there's also really boring and really stupid stuff. So it's just amazing to me that people are like, yeah, it's better than the first Star Wars, which is like a perfect adventure movie. It's better than Empire Strikes Back. It's
It's one of those bad takes where it rides the line between like meme and like trying to be contrarian, you know?
Yeah. I should say, as a comedy, Revenge of the Sith is the best Star Wars movie. It is by far the funniest.
Yeah, it's by far the campiest, and see, that's the fun. It's the worst written of all of them, like as far as straight up dialogue goes.
Funniest in terms of ironic funny, by the way, like
camp.
It
is the campiest Star Wars.
Yeah, by a mile.
So yeah, I guess if you're there for camp, like if you're not actually a fan and you're just there to make fun of it, then that would be your favorite movie, but. I don't know. Why would
Why would it be your actual favorite? I don't know.
No, I honestly think they haven't seen it in a decade, and they're just looking at the memes and laughing and making it more fun than it was.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I like the memes, but come on, people. If you're gonna review stuff or like put out your film opinion, please don't make it ironic. Unless it's very obvious that it's ironic.
Or unless you're trying to be ironic, but don't take an ironic take and then make it like your serious take.
Yeah.
And then die on that hill and be like, oh, no, it's good.
No, dude, it's so good. Number 3 for me is Judas and the Black Messiah, which was just, it's a bit of a turn from Spider-Man and these other kinds of movies because it's very serious. But I thought it was super well performed. It kind of didn't feel like it came out last year just because I watched it like at the start of the year.
Oh yeah.
But I thought it was really well acted. I think it was the directorial debut of this person, Shaka King, I think. Shaka King. Yeah, Shaka King is his or her. I honestly don't know. I want to get that right. It's a guy. Okay. His first film, I believe, his first feature film, and it was a really good debut.
Nice.
And it won some Oscars already, so like it feels weird to talk about it because it's already gotten the awards it has, but I thought it was a really good watch. If you want to watch a good drama, this is definitely one of them. Daniel Kaluuya is awesome. Lakeith Stanfield's awesome. Everyone's good.
Did the Oscars happen?
They happened like delayed. So there was a delayed Oscars, which included all the movies from 2020 and then like a few movies from 2021. So like Judas and the Black Messiah came out in like February of 2021, but it was eligible for that Oscars because the Oscars were late. They were like in May. So the
Oscars haven't come out for the most recent year.
No. So like Dune will be in the next Oscars.
God, for the Oscars, but oh god.
I don't think Dune's gonna win much outside of visual effects and like soundtrack.
What's nominated? Jeez,
I don't know.
Lord.
The nominations haven't come out yet. The Golden Globes happened. They didn't get televised because of like, I don't know, some controversy. I don't care.
The Oscars can die in a hole.
Yeah.
I mean, the best part of the Oscars is watching it with you. The actual content sucks.
Oh yeah, it's funny to watch and make fun of. I've had to watch it by myself the past couple of years.
Maybe I'll come by this time.
Yeah, come by next.
Oscar stream.
No, we did. We got shut down for that.
We got shut down for the Oscar.
We streamed it one time on Instagram Live, and then Instagram was like, "Stop that."
Yeah.
Which was pretty funny.
Instagram.
But I mean, you could stream it and just like do this. Where like we're watching it there, but they can't see it, but they're synced up.
Follow along at home.
See how many picks I get right and wrong. Number 2 for me is Nobody. We talked about that a little bit. Love Nobody. And in terms of conventional film, it's probably my favorite considering what number 1 is for me. But number 1, you mentioned it earlier, is Bo Burnham's Inside.
Inside.
I loved Inside. And I'm not just saying that because everyone
wow, Justin, you're such a
it.
quirky art type.
I'm so quirky, dude. Hey, man. Listen, I've watched Bo Burnham for many years. As of you. I think you showed me Bo Burnham, if I'm not mistaken.
My brother showed me Bo Burnham. Because he was a theater kid, so he was in that whole...
Yeah.
Like, because... that's what you guys don't realize, kids, is Bo Burnham originated in the theater kid crowd.
Oh, yeah.
Amongst those people. Glee Club type kids.
And so, I've been a fan of his for a while. I loved...
Since, like, high school, right?
Yeah.
It's been forever.
Since I used to watch... This'll age me and show how much whatever. I used to watch clips of What. Like I would watch all of his special What on my 3DS because I didn't have an iPhone. And so I would boot up YouTube on my 3DS. And I'd watch like a bunch of YouTube videos, right? But I would watch What on my 3DS.
I think my brother just had a What CD. Like he literally burned it off YouTube or something.
Yeah.
Because, he just put the whole thing on YouTube.
But I would watch it and I would just be like, this is so funny and like so weirdly emotional at some points, like even back then. And then Make Happy came out and I was like, this is incredible.
Yeah.
And then he stopped.
We were both hyped for when
Make Happy. That make me happy. And then sad when he gets sad. 8th Grade was a fun movie. I liked 8th Grade.
Yeah. I also thought it was over with the stand-up. After that, because like he said, basically he's like, I'm pretty much done.
He's like, I'm pretty much done.
And I was like, oh, so he's just gonna be a movie guy now.
And then in Inside, he kind of alludes to, I was actually gonna come back, and then the pandemic started.
That hit hard. That whole segment. Oh man.
And it's very sad. Like, so I watched Inside the day it came out. I saw a trailer come up for it, and I was like. I lost my mind that day. I was like, oh my gosh, Bo Burnham's making more comedy, and it's not really comedy. Like, there's some funny stuff in there, but it's, I don't really like, I feel like I'm afraid for movies for the next couple of years, where I feel like movies are just going to be about the pandemic forever, Like every Oscar Beatty movie is going to be like a family separated by the virus.
Oh, God.
Like, you know what I mean?
Has that happened yet?
I'm sure it has. Like, not on a big scale, but I'm sure it will happen. Where there'll be just endless films. But this is one of those movies where I actually excuse it for being timely and like directly topical.
Yeah.
Because it's a sad look at, a guy dealing with that. And that, like, I know that's not his actual house. Like, that's his guest house that he's filming in.
Mm-hmm.
He has a big house that he goes and lives in, and he's not living alone. I get it. But it's it's kind of like the symbolic, like, oh, we all kind of feel like we're trapped a little bit in this room, kind of, especially if you're a creative person, which
it's
I think
we all are. Calm down, It's like...
Yeah.
Like, when people getting like concerned or something, I don't know.
Yeah, people were like, "Is he okay?"
It's like, it's art. Just shut up.
Like,
I sold it to Netflix.
Is he okay? I don't know. Are any of us okay? Like, he's obviously okay enough to have filmed it and edited it, and this is his way of kind of like dealing with it. Is writing songs and
also, I guess then who are you? Are you okay?
Yeah.
He just released one of like maybe one of the like highest forms of mixed media we've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's okay. Who are you? What are you talking about? Like, could you even make anything like that? He literally just like won art.
And the just the amount of creativity and like just how inspiring it is to be like, this guy filmed and edited and lit and did everything by himself.
Yeah.
For a whole film, and it ended up in my opinion, I thought it was better than any multi-million-dollar film.
Oh yeah,
came out this year. It was awesome. Again, is it a movie? I think so, but I guess you could debate whether or not it is.
It's a movie.
I think it's a film.
It's potent. It's a moment. It captured like the zeitgeist of this whole like last 2 years, like lightning in a bottle. Just as, like this thing.
This is like the only thing you need to like. We've all lived through it, but but this is it. Like
if people are gonna be like, oh, what was it like, or like all this stuff, it's like there's literally one thing. You don't have to watch anything else.
This was a guy trying to do what he loved, but like, oh, I got to do it for no audience. Yeah, basically for myself. You know, it's kind of sad, but
yeah. But I think everyone had the exact same. That's why it was so good. It was so relatable. Is he was without being corny, he was able to like take that experience that we all shared, and like express it. And I think other things will probably try to do that and fail miserably in the future.
I guarantee it. I guarantee you're gonna see some pretty bad stuff.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lightning round quick talk about some movies I saw that didn't come out this past year, but I still watched. All right. Oh, real quick. Here's some shows I watched that I loved. How To with John Wilson is awesome on HBO. It's produced by Nathan Fielder, who did Nathan for You. It's a guy that films his life in New York and does a funny voiceover, and he just gets to do a lot of shenanigans. It's great. Awesome. Definitely check it out. WandaVision is mid. Falcon and the Winter Soldier is mid. Loki season 1 was a lot of fun. What If by Marvel, that was not great. It was okay. Hawkeye was not good. It was okay. Murder Among the Mormons documentary series about the Mormons getting bombed. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I watched it right before we went to Utah because I thought it would be funny. Kind of interesting. I don't remember a ton of it, but it was interesting. Invincible sort of captured the hearts of many with its memes, and I'm glad it kind of popped off as much as it did, because I know you're a big fan of Invincible.
Yeah, they just actually came out with the final, like they collect about like I think like 100 issues at a time in like this thick book. So I had the first 2, and the third one came out, and then that finishes the series.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna read the rest. That'll be sick.
Nice.
I've been waiting for years for that.
I loved the show Invincible. I'd like to start reading it at some point. Garth Marenghi's Dark Place, hilarious. Okay. Succession. All of it that's out is probably one of the best shows on TV right now. Definitely one of the best shows on TV right now. I watched The IT Crowd. Super funny. Probably my favorite sitcom ever made. Ted Lasso. I thought it was really good. Ted Lasso. It can definitely delve into like, all right, this is pretty family, like, or not family friendly because they say the F word a lot, but they say friendship. But
falafel.
I liked it. I thought it was good, and I know a lot of people don't like some stuff in season 2, but that's just because they don't like difficult character arcs. You know how I mean? Like how some shows are like, but I don't want that to happen to the character I like. Yeah. Like that's a lot of season 2. So
people are stupid. They don't like understand like how plot works. Yeah. And things have to happen to characters.
Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
Space Ghost.
I love Space Ghost. I didn't watch all of it, but I just watched some of it, and I thought it was worth mentioning.
Smiling Friends?
Not last year. Like I saw the pilot. I watched the pilot
this year, actually. Yeah.
I watched the pilot last year. I loved it, and I've watched most of the show this year.
We can slip it in.
And I love Smiling Friends. Yeah. I think it's awesome. Some great movies I watched this past year. I started and ended the year with a Kubrick movie.
Oh, yes.
First movie I watched this year was Dr. Strangelove for the first time.
Beautiful.
Awesome. One of the funniest movies ever made.
Oh, yeah. Great satire. Holds up.
Great satire.
There's no fighting in the war room.
Yeah, it's awesome. And then the last movie I watched last year was actually 2001.
Oh.
Never seen it. Nutso. So good.
That movie's freaking crazy, bro.
Yeah, that's an insane movie.
Trip and a half.
And I kind of get why people didn't like it when it came out. But it's still good. Genuinely, probably my favorite movie of last year was RoboCop. RoboCop is shockingly good. I was like bewildered at how much I was enjoying it. It's not like my favorite. It's maybe a little below Inside, but it was good. It is a good movie. Let's see. I watched every Fast and Furious movie for the first time.
It's all about film.
It's all about film.
You mess with Dominic Toretto. You mess with him.
None of them are actually good. Some of them actually get kind of close. I like a few of them.
Kind of close.
But they are funny to watch. They are probably the funniest movies of all time.
Yes.
What else did I watch that was really good? I liked Predator. I watched the first Predator. It was actually a lot of fun. Dylan. Yes, that was the only reason I watched the movie. Let's see, what else did I watch? I watched Solo for the first time. Star Wars story. I really liked it. I don't know why people didn't like it.
Such a shame that movie they hated it. It's because it came out right after Last Jedi and people were just seething.
I thought it was a ton of fun. Like if you
it was one of the best New Age Star Wars movies.
If you just want a cool Star Wars adventure, go watch Solo. If you even watched it and then didn't like it initially, give it another rewatch because I guarantee you'll like it.
It's really fun.
On a more serious, Almost Famous. That was really good.
Oh, okay. It's got that one. One lady in there.
Yeah. Mulholland Drive.
Oh.
I don't know if you've heard of this movie.
The hobo scene. That's my favorite. Yeah, that's one of my favorite scenes.
That's a movie and a half. Mulholland Drive. It's David Lynch.
I wrote. I might have mentioned this on the podcast. But I wrote a 20-page research paper about that movie, and at the end of it, I had no more understanding than when I started the paper.
Yeah,
I was probably more confused.
Yeah,
because I thought about it more than
you should have. Yeah, it's amazing. Watch it. Don't watch it at night. It's scary.
That movie.
It freaked me out a little bit.
Frick out.
As pretty much most David Lynch stuff does, if I'm being honest. Goodfellas. I got some classics in this year. Love Goodfellas. Can you tap my computer? Just the FN key on the right, on the left of the board, all the way to the left and the bottom. Yeah. Okay. It's still recording, right? Like it's still going.
It is.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Rear Window.
Rear Window.
Hitchcock.
Jimmy Stewart.
Please look at there's a murder going on.
Picture of that coochie.
No, he does not say that.
Yes, he does.
No, he doesn't. Not even once.
It's always like a cripple, right?
He's not a cripple. He just broke his leg. He's not perma-cripple.
This is always a dirty cripple, right?
Yes. I guess he can't. He's in a wheelchair the whole movie, but he's not a cripple.
I know. I know there's a thing. Have you seen The Rope?
The Rope, like the bounty hunter.
You left the freaking rope in his mouth. No, The Rope.
No, I haven't seen Hitchcock.
It's one of those one-room movies, like one-room murder mystery type thing.
Yeah, I've still got to see a lot of Hitchcock. I think I've only seen Rear Window and Psycho.
Ooh, Vertigo, do that next.
Oh no, I've seen Vertigo.
I've
seen Vertigo.
Vertigo's dope.
I watched it in film class though, so I should probably rewatch it with like.
It's better alone.
Yeah, that's my thought.
That movie's iconic.
28 Days Later. I thought it was awesome. Definitely one of the best zombie movies of all time. If you think zombies are boring and you want to be like actually scared by zombies, 28 Days Later is the movie for you because it makes the future look depressing. But it's so good. Train to Busan. Another zombie film. I was in a bit of a zombie mood.
Zombie kick?
I drank a lot of Modelo, right? Or isn't that our meme? There was a point in time where I drank a lot of Modelo and got
zombie?
No, I got a certain thing that everyone.
Oh,
can we even say that? Like, does that still get you demonetized? Whatever.
I don't even know. Let's just not even risk talking about that stuff.
Anyway, I was in a bad mood for a few days, so I was watching movies about zombies and like sad stuff. So I watched Train to Busan. I liked it a lot. I thought it was cool. Let's see. What else did I watch of note? I watched again 108 movies. There's a lot on here that is like good but not amazing. I watched the first Saw. That was pretty good. I had fun with that. Spree is pretty funny. It's got Steve from Stranger Things.
Okay,
He's like a Uber driver. He kills people. That was really good. I liked Legally Blonde.
Oh.
A lot.
With that one girl.
Reese Witherspoon.
Yeah.
I love Reese Witherspoon.
Reese
Witherspoon from like the 90s and the early 2000s. Oh my gosh. But Legally Blonde was actually so good, and I was shocked at how much I liked it.
Oh wow.
When Harry Met Sally, dude.
What's that? Who's in that?
Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan. Oh my gosh.
Never seen it.
It's like probably the best rom-com ever made.
Rom-com.
Rom-coms are hard to get right. This movie gets it right.
Okay.
Absolutely love it. Let's see. Do the Right Thing. Do the right thing and watch that movie because it's good. I watched Tenet for the first time. I actually liked it quite a bit. I know people that kind of were like on it. Thought it was as good as any other Nolan movie.
Robbie P's in there, right?
Oh yeah. Speaking of Robbie P, I watched every Twilight movie this past year.
You did say you did that.
Anyway,
moving on.
Little Miss Sunshine, that was pretty good. That was kind of sad.
Yeah.
But it had a really good cast. Paul Dano's kind of never been in a bad movie, I'm realizing.
Huh.
Yeah, like everything I've seen him in, he's very good in it. I think he's going to end up being one of those actors you look at like dare I say this because we all love him, but Harry Dean Stanton. He's going to be like one of those character actor type people where you're like, he's in everything and he's good in everything. I mentioned It Follows. I liked that a lot. Let's see. Jesus Camp is an old documentary from like 2002, 2003. It's about a Southern Christian camp.
Huh.
And they're like it's like, I think it's evangelical where they're like speaking in tongues and stuff like that. Oh boy. It's pretty weird because it's with kids. But it's interesting to see how kind of post 9/11 America reacted to Islam and how a lot of like radical Christians sort of took this in a lot of directions. It's interesting. And as someone that grew up in church, I didn't experience anything like this, but it's interesting to see how a lot of kids grow up. Yeah. And like, it's sad.
Indoctrinated.
And it's sad because they're exposed to so many. It's the parents sort of.
It's not their fault.
It's the parents teaching their crazy ideals to kids, and the kids being like, "Well, I guess the Bible says this about this." And
because kids are pretty reasonable. Yeah. And pretty like non-prejudice. Yeah. And like understand. Like kids are pretty chill if the parents don't ruin them. Like literally, I think that's like the whole thing.
Big Boy, There Will Be Blood.
Big Boy.
Oh, I loved There Will Be Blood. It was so good. Paul Thomas.
PTA.
I need to watch more of his movies. But this was
just not the weird, creepy business.
Which ones?
I think his newest movie is like.
Oh, Licorice Pizza.
It's like some like 20-year-old dating a 16-year-old or something. And it's just kind of like.
I've heard that. I'll still watch it. I didn't know that before I wanted to watch it.
Like for me, like that's just like stuff I disapprove of in real life.
Sure. So and I do too.
I'm just like.
Yeah.
Again, like I don't need a movie making me
think
pissed off about this and making me like just like I don't know, it's just like whatever.
Yeah. So anyway, I mean I'll watch that probably this year at some point. Oh, awesome movie. So I watched Looper for the first time. That's not the awesome movie in question, but I liked Looper a lot actually. I thought
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
It was a cool time travel movie because it doesn't try to explain itself too much.
That's good.
And time travel
movies
really
all you can do
often crumble underneath the weight of their own logic.
Scrutiny of logic.
And if you think about this movie long enough, it doesn't make any sense. But the film doesn't really try to like explain it away, so I thought that was good. And then the last movie of note that I watched was Tremors. You ever seen Tremors?
No, I've heard of it though.
Well, it's really good.
No, that I've seen one scene, and it's where a guy like it comes up behind him. It starts like eating him or some shit, and he was like,
Oh,
I think
like
a
that sounds right. Tremors is hilarious. It's like an homage to B movies.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And it totally gets why they're great. Kevin Bacon is hilarious. It's a movie I think you'd probably really enjoy. I was pleasantly surprised at how much I like Tremors.
That was like when people were making good bad movies, but before it got like really like contrived, like the Sharknado movies.
Okay.
Right?
So, sorry, I'm responding to a text. But yeah, it is. It's before Sharknado.
Okay.
Kind
before it's ruined it.
It was respectful about why movies like that are kind of silly and why we like them so much. Sorry. Yeah, I liked Tremors a lot. And that's basically the main films I watched. We've talked for a while. Do you want to do a couple quick albums?
We could do like our top 3.
Yeah, I got to remember albums that came out last year.
Yeah. Well, I got my. I'm pretty quick on mine.
You do that while I finish typing this.
Definitely. Okay, it's not fair. Okay, Nos did 2. They count as 1 for me. All right.
Nos did 2. Okay.
King's Disease 2 and Magic, both for 1 album for me. Phenomenal. You know.
Yeah.
The guy's been the GOAT for years.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy to see, you know, a guy like 20 years after his prime, freaking still like releasing music that could be like considered amongst like the best music of the year for like a genre. Like I don't know, I feel like artists always fall off after a while.
Sure.
Unless they're like really, really, really good.
Yeah.
Like a lot of those rock bands, like they're talented, but they weren't really like artists.
Yeah.
So like they sour after a few years and they just can't put out albums.
Yeah, I could see that.
But yeah, but like Nas is just like he's like still at the top of the game, you know, despite being like basically an old man at this point, quote unquote, compared to other rappers.
Yeah.
Jacques Alib did a few albums this year.
Always Jacques Alib.
Always in it for Jacques Alib.
The boy.
There's a album Sometimes I Feel Like Introvert by Little Sims.
Okay.
That was a good one. That was a little more on the low key side. I got that recommended to me from someone.
Nice.
And then a Butterfly 3000 by King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
Okay.
Came out this year. Freaking phenomenal.
Yes. The Australian.
Yeah.
The Australian boys.
Super like trancey album. Lots of electronic.
Yeah.
You know, obviously. And what do you say? And then Hell on Church Street came out. That was our good boys, the Punch Brothers.
Ah, yes, I love the Punch Brothers.
And then I guess one of the favorite albums I listened to in general.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, did that come out? No, that came out last year. Run the Jewels 4.
Oh, yeah.
Was a good one.
Okay. That's a good list. I'm going to now list a couple that I listened to. The Off Season.
Oh, I forgot the Off
by
Season.
J. Cole. How could you forget?
Also, actually, I did want to 2014 Forest Hills Drive.
Yes.
Just I listened to that this year the first time, and that was definitely like I think my favorite thing I listened to.
That changes a man.
That changes a man.
Doesn't Davis not like? Didn't we bring up J. Cole when Davis was on? And he was like, "You listen to J. Cole, bro."
Oh my God, bro! You listen to that?
No disrespect to Davis, but the Off Season. Yeah, I thought it was. I've also this year just been familiarized with J. Cole's music. That was interesting. Call Me If You Get Lost.
Oh yes,
by Tyler the Creator. He has a huge fan of Igor and his previous albums. I just like the direction he's heading in. I like some of his earlier stuff. It's not for everybody, but you know, there's like his fans where they're like, "Oh yeah, I like Flower Boy and Up." Like nothing back. I feel like this album kind of takes a lot from those earlier albums where, you know, they go a little harder and it's a little heavier. So I appreciate that.
Also, do you feel, for me, you feel like he's becoming like the Wes Anderson of music as far as like stylistic.
He makes music videos certainly
stuff.
Like visually like it, and I'm all for that.
Yeah, for me, like I just see all the bright colors and like such heavily like thematic music, and it's just so like. That's so much character. I guess that's what it is. It's just so much character.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it.
Little bit of Cuck Core.
Cuck
The
Core,
Evolution
yeah.
of Tears by the Gentlemen. Absolute bop. I'm telling you, that was a good album.
Yeah.
Cuck Core. Of course, probably my favorite album of the year. An easy pick, one that I kind of guessed was going to be my favorite, which is An Evening with Silk Sonic by Silk Sonic.
Silk Sonic.
Bruno and Anderson. Yeah, it was too short for me. I wish it was longer, but it sounds like they both really liked working on it. As you can hear, it was really good. And then I know this isn't 2021, but The Weeknd's new album, Dawn FM, I've been listening to quite a lot. I am a very big fan of The Weeknd.
Yeah. I gotta get on that.
And so I didn't know he was making a new album, and I just opened my phone one day and was like, emergency. Like,
emergency.
I just dropped a new album. What's happening? So that was a big fan of that one. But those were some, I'm sure I forgot a couple, that came out this past year.
Bound to happen.
Which is bound to happen. I know we didn't talk as much about music, but, with film, you can kind of go very in-depth to things.
Yeah.
In music, it's like, I liked it. I liked how it sounded. Which is, that's just a different way of reviewing things.
Yeah. Stromae's back. He put out a few singles this year.
That's right. Woo! Good old Stromae.
Let's go.
Love Stromae. I'm very happy he's back. There's a couple more artists that are making new music. Past year, again, I didn't think it was a masterpiece or anything, but Donda I liked quite a bit of.
Donda.
That was the best song. It's Ethan's referencing that because it's the meme song from that album, and that's why he's talking about it. And that's all the input he's gonna give. So, next year, I don't know. Stromae's making a new album.
Oh, you recommended this. This was just one of the better things I listened to. Was To Pimp a Butterfly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I want Kendrick to make more music, and I want it to not sound like whatever he was doing with Baby Keem.
No, yeah.
Not, I'm not a fan personally of that, but, Kendrick, if you want to make more music on your own, it's going to be good, because To Pimp Butterfly is so good.
Yeah. It's Kendrick. People forget, man. He waits too long to release an album, and people forget, and people start saying weird and wild, wacky stuff like Drake's the best, greatest of all time.
Yep.
And you go like, you seem to be forgetting someone, sir.
Someone who is like,
who actually writes their own music and has lyrical ability as a poet and a wordsmith, who's not just popular and mediocre.
His are some of the only songs I can listen to like 20 or 30 times, and then like I listen to it again and I just look at the lyrics and I just read them, and I'm like, oh my god,
there's just so much meaning there.
How do you even write this cleverly? And, anyway, he's awesome, and he's playing at the Super Bowl this year. He's doing the halftime show.
Heck yeah.
Do you know about the halftime show this year? It's like, so it's in LA, so it's kind of an homage to
OJ.
Yes, to OJ Simpson. Everyone's going to wear OJ jerseys. Everyone's going to kill their wives. No, but they're having like a bunch of old hip-hop legend type people. Like Mary J. Blige, I guess, has done... I guess she's done hip-hop for a while. I haven't listened to any of her stuff, but she's
Queen
doing
Latifah did hip-hop for a while.
Yeah, that's right.
Weird.
It is weird. But, like, I guess Mary J. Blige is one of those people. So she's going to be there. Snoop Dogg's going to be there. Kendrick's going to be there. Eminem's going to be there.
Yeah, boy.
And Dr. Dre is going to be there.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be a big ol'...
That's lit.
I'm I'm interested to see what it's going to be like. And I'm sure they'll play...
Dre and Eminem up there, man. Oh, man. The whole squad. The whole gang's out here.
They released a little trailer with all of them, like, coming together. And at the end, they start playing California Love. And I'm like, ooh, they're going to pay homage to, like, Tupac and, like, maybe Biggie. I don't know.
Biggie.
I think there's going to be a lot of, like, because there's not really been hip-hop figures in the Super Bowl halftime show ever, really. So it'll be kind of a cool window into that world of music. And hopefully they don't, the NBC or whoever's airing it doesn't water it down too much.
Good God.
Because it's good stuff. Yeah, well.
That was an epic pod.
That was an epic pod. Not an average pod.
Not average.
Not at all. I feel like we don't have to do recommends even because we talked about so many movies we liked.
Yeah.
That, like, you at home could just take really any of the movies we talked about positively and give it a watch.
Yeah.
Because
I think this is like a good, like, mega list of things you should watch.
And I didn't, I know Ethan mentioned every movie he's watched this past year, but there were a lot I didn't talk about either because
mine was easier to pull off.
Either because, like, it was just like, okay, or I was like, I don't really feel like this isn't worth mentioning. But if you want to follow me on Letterboxd, come check me out. I'm reviewing every movie I watched this year in a short little review.
What is our what is my Letterboxd? Ethan Fortner 1. ETHANFORTNER 1.
I think mine's still Larry Mickelson, is it not? Oh, maybe not.
Maybe. My profile pic is me with a bust of Marcus Aurelius at the Art Museum.
I don't think. Hold on, I think I've gotten it wrong, haven't I? Wait, I'm going to your profile, following. Oh no, I'm just Justin Townsend. My profile picture is Patrick Bateman, but he's like chatted.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Chatted like Patrick Bateman.
He's like Chadrick Bateman. It's that. So go follow. I've watched 8 movies so far this year, and I write a little review about all of them. I'm trying to do that with every film I watch. See how my opinions change, and I don't know. Maybe they're not serious reviews, but I don't know.
None of my reviews are serious either.
Oh,
They're usually like one word or 4 words. Like that was effing crazy.
Yeah. So I feel like if I watch a movie good enough, I'm like, I'll write a little review. I like doing that every once in a while, but most of these I'm like, Funny Monkey, Planet of the Apes, anyway. Well, folks, drive home safe. Look both ways before you cross the street. And
always listen to this podcast. This is the best podcast
always listen to this podcast.
You guys love it?
Yeah. I hope you love it.
I hope you love it.
Because I love you.
Jeez Louise. Jeez Louise. We love you.
Okay, everybody. See you later.
Later.
Bye.